And we'll get to see it shortly when the Temple Owls come to Norman for a Friday night tilt. Are they going to be ready, though? We'll find out coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Temple Owls, week 1 of the college football season. Rest in peace. No, I think it's going to be, let me just say this. Back in 2008, New Year's going in 2009, I'm traveling up Highway 81 from Bowie, Texas to Duncan, Oklahoma, Duncan, America. Ooh. My wife had just gotten a job working a clinic in Velma, Oklahoma, a little town of 600 people. Shout out to Velma Regional Medical Clinic. And I'm traveling up for a New Year's Eve party because she's living there. I'm still living down in Fort Worth before we got married. And I'm traveling up 81, going 80 miles an hour, pitch black at night. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see this thing swooping down. I'm like, sure enough, that's not going to go right. And boom, I crush it with my F-150, front end. And I pull over and I stop, and it's an owl sucked into the grate of my F-150, dead on contact.
Wow.
Now, there won't be an actual murder that takes place on Owen Field when the Oklahoma Sooners and the Temple Owls go to battle, but it's going to be much like that. Temple's going to kind of swoop in on a Friday evening and not leave in a very good state, because the Oklahoma Sooners are going to be ready to make a point to the rest of the country that week 1 game.
Yeah, I did not see that coming on the story fully, but no, I kind of had a feeling that there's going to be somebody dying in that one, and that bird unfortunately got it. No, in this game, man, look, Temple's, we was looking at the numbers, man, and it's just, they're just not very good. And it's got a lot of rebuild for them. They've got a lot of revamping, right? I mean, the last time they were good was the year after Matt Rule left. It's been a bit for them, and so they're just rebuilding, retooling, trying to figure it out. Their current coach is a native Clevelander, and so he's from the area, and so he's going to try to revive that program. But what I expect in this game, and this is kind of the weird thing, I expect Oklahoma to blow them out, but I don't expect the starters to play very long, even with the blowout. Right? I actually don't even expect the starters to blow them out. I expect the second group to be the ones to really put in the work, because this is a great opportunity to get some young guys some game while at the same time not showing your cards too much. And it's unfortunately it's a substantial amount of shade to Temple, because Temple's not very good right now. They've got, I was looking at Phil Steele's rankings of them, and they were like 133rd in pass defense efficiency out of 133 teams. That kind of tells you everything you need to know, right? But they're just, we should go out there and handle them with ease, like you did the one that flew in front of your car.
Yes. It's going to be like Arkansas State from 2023. This is going to be a team that defensively is not good. They might be able to do a little bit offensively because they're average, middle of the pack in the country, 70th in total yards and scoring, around that, but defensively just not good. And so whatever Oklahoma is going to want to do offensively, they're going to be able to do it. And I think you're right, man. It's going to be one of those games where you get to empty the bench. You're going to be able to empty your full clip and see what you've got. You're going to get valuable playing time and valuable snaps for everybody on your roster if you want to. And I think you're right. I think they do let the first team, that kind of too deep, play a lot of the first half and see where they're at. And then coming out in the second half, you see a lot of those third and fourth, fifth stringers getting more and more opportunities. This is the game to get everybody snaps, because listen, if you're wanting to preserve red shirts, fine, but this is not going to be the game that you have to concern yourself with that. You might not play everybody against Tulane or Houston. You'll probably play everybody against Maine later in the season, but this is one of those games where you get a chance to see everybody get some opportunities.
No, 100%. And, shout out to, Arkansas State, Butch Jones, over there tried to rebuild those bad boys, because after that throttling we gave them, they actually went to a bowl game. They went 6-6 in the season and finished 6-7 because they lost their bowl game. So shout out to them for being able to do that and be able to, bounce back from that 73-0 drumming. But I don't think Temple's going to even be able to bounce back from that type of, from just any loss, right? I mean, they went 3-9 last season. I'm sensing they're probably seeing 3-9 again this year. They should have at least one
returning
FCS.
production.
90th in returning production. They ain't bringing nobody back. That should tell you everything you need to know about what they're going to try to figure out this season. It's a rebuild, so we'll luckily get to take advantage of it, and this will be a time for us to really figure out what we want to do. And the best part is at Owen Field at night on a Friday night. So make sure y'all get y'all tickets to go enjoy that, because it's going to be a fun time. Yeah,
it's going to be a fun time. I'm sure they'll have the production value ratcheted up quite a bit. And it's going to be awesome for us, and for you as the fan, because you're going to get to see a lot of the guys that we've been talking about for a couple years now. I think like a guy like Ashton Sanders, I really like his game, and I think he's got a chance to be a productive player on this team at some point. We just haven't seen it yet, but this is going to be an opportunity for us to get a glimpse of him against live competition. You can think of the young safeties that we've been raving about all offseason, the Reggie Powers and Michael Boganowski's, the Michael Patterson McDonald, a dude that I think flies under the radar because he's not the 4-star prospect. He's not the big heavy hitter, but he's a guy that can make some plays in his own right. The wide receivers like a Brennan Thompson or Jaquays Petaway, guys, again, flying under the radar. You're going to get an opportunity to see these guys. And so it's going to be a great opportunity to just kind of get a chance to see your favorites, the guys that you've been looking forward to seeing on the field at some point.
Yeah. Expect to go deep on the defensive line, like you mentioned. And that's perfect, right? That's the perfect game to give Champ Sanders, to give Grayson Halton really like a lot of time, to give Marcus Strong a lot of time, Devon Sears. It's a very great opportunity to really play them more, and even the edges, right? Getting PJ out there. At this point, you can't redshirt a lot of these guys, so get PJ out there more, right? Get R. Mason Thomas out there more. This is the best opportunity to play the guys that you need to see who's able to take the calls and actually execute on them in preparation for that Houston game and that Tulane game.
Yep, it's going to be that first building block on what we hope will be a successful 2024 season that ends in a playoff berth, SEC title contention. We'll see, but this is just going to be that first building block against the Temple Owls. We're going to continue to discuss Oklahoma's schedule over the next few weeks as we get ready for the 2024 college football season. Make sure you go to Locked On Sooners, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're also available on YouTube. Hit that notification bell over there to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow the show on all the social medias, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you like to social media. Locked On Sooners is available for you. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports, myself at John 9 Williams. We'll be back with more discussion. And hey, Javante Barnes might be back to his old self, according to Brent Venables. We're going to discuss that on tomorrow's episode, so make sure you're tuned in, again, wherever you get your podcast. But for Jay Smith, I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you next time. Boomer
Sooner.